Hello everyone, thanks for watching this short video. It's Woody Adams here with Intuit Practice Management. And this video is focused on what the staff user or stakeholder in the firm will do in practice management. When you're invited to your Intuit Practice Management firm from the office manager or staff manager or partner, you'll get an email, you'll accept the invite and log into Intuit Practice Management, which you're looking at here on my screen. Intuit Practice Management, or I'll refer to it from here on out for the next 5 minutes as IPM. It is on the Intuit App Center along with a bunch of other apps. And though IPM has 6 tabs, the staff user has access to 3. So you won't see time and billing or reports or any kind of administrative preferences, settings, things like that. But basically, all I'm going to show you are the key things you're going to be doing throughout the day to track your time and expenses, manage your engagements, and even look at some reports and also look at your clients. That's basically all you're going to need to do as the staff user. So the first thing that you come into is the dashboard tab. So again, dashboard, clients, engagements. Dashboard is where you're going to probably spend most of your time. It's where you'll log your time for the client, the work code that's already been set up by the administrator of IPM has set this all up for you, so all the information's there, and the engagement. I'm actually using a timesheet that includes engagements, but there are 7 different timesheets. Your firm might just have the client and the work code and not really be tracking the engagement to the client or the work code. And that's essentially it. You have your dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and enter some time, but how do I know what engagements I have? I mean, I have some pre-filled here, but what you can do is click on the My Engagements tab, because on the dashboard tab, there are some sub-tabs, right? My timesheet, my expenses, my engagements, personal reports. Click on My Engagements, and it'll show me by date range, which I can filter. I'm just looking for July, but you could look at just today or this week or next 2 weeks or whatever, and you'll see by client the engagements that have been assigned to you by the staff member. You can even add an engagement if you like, just by clicking the Add button, and you can also do it from the Engagements tab as well. You just kind of choose your client. Let's say you have the ability to do this, and you're going to work on something for Aaron Brady. This is going to be a QuickBooks cleanup, and then of course choose your engagement type. All of these options have already been set up for you by the IPM Realm Administrator when they were setting up Intuit Practice Management. And this is due the 12th. You click Next, and then here you can fill out that you've received it, or the different status, I should say, of the engagement, because your partners and your bosses, the staff manager, or whoever's over you, will want to know what status you have. So I'm received right now, and if there's a priority, and they might already have created these for you. You can even put in an estimated hours you think it's going to take and set up a recurring engagement if you like with a start and ending date. Notice it's assigned to me. Okay, you can assign it because I have the ability to assign it to somebody else, but I'm just going to do it for me, and you can put in any notes you want that you have to do. And that's basically setting up an engagement. So now you see I have this QuickBooks cleanup here, and I've estimated 1.5 hours. Now, maybe in your firm, someone sets up the engagements for you. Either way, you come to your engagement screen, choose a particular date range you're looking at, and now you know what you have to do. So then you go and do that work, and as you're doing it, you're going to periodically go to your timesheet and log it. You might even, since it is Thursday, start the timer just by clicking in the field and clicking on the timer. Some timesheets don't have a timer, some do. It's a pretty simple timer mechanism. You have to click into the actual field in order to start or stop it. But you could also just kind of put in, the hours you worked on a particular engagement, if you will, to track your time. And you can also put in notes of, work you did goes here, and this will go to the invoice in QuickBooks when, even though you're not going to actually create the invoices, when someone actually goes to a time and billing and does that work in the firm, it'll actually go into the description field on the invoice. And then when you're done, you kind of click save, and depending on the firm policy, they're going to want you to submit the time. When you submit the time, they'll go ahead and be able to create a draft invoice against that time for the client. Again, when you're done with the timer, you done with that work, your phone call or the return or whatever work you're doing there, click into the field and click Stop Timer. And based on the preferences, it'll go ahead and round to the nearest 10th or 15th minute there. All right, and I only did it for a few seconds, so we'll just do that I did a 1.25 hours. But that's how the timer would work. Again, you're going to have IPM up just like you'll have your Outlook up, Facebook, other things like that, right? You're tracking what you're doing, and when you're done, you go ahead and just go ahead and submit by clicking the Submit tab, and it'll go to the appropriate area within IPM for someone to create a draft invoice. Next thing to consider would be the Clients tab. You're privy to all your clients there. You won't see any billing history per se, but you can see the current engagements per client. Even drill down on an engagement from there if you like, and also any notes and call history. You might get a phone call, so go ahead and click Add Note and choose, it's a phone call, and we talked about, you know, um, upgrading to Enterprise, from the QuickBooks Pro they have, and does it need follow-up? I can even choose when I'm supposed to follow up and choose a custom date. Let's say it's going to be on the 15th, on Monday after the long weekend, and I can go ahead and assign it to myself or somebody else. If I have that level of access, I click Save. What's nice about the follow-ups is when you log in, you'll see your follow-ups up here in the actual follow-up section in the upper right of Intuit Practice Management. Some people even use that to communicate with each other, kind of an instant message, if you will, within Practice Management. Really, it's just for notes and call history and following up, and of course, tracking the current engagements. That's what you can see on the Clients tab, and you can also see, how we correlate between Lacert and QuickBooks. I don't know if you would need this, but you could see the current phone number they have in QuickBooks, let's say, current phone number in Lacert, and the address. That definitely might come in handy just by clicking that More tab to the right on the Clients tab. Okay, so for the current engagements, you'll see everything there, the type of engagement, your ownership of it, the status, the due date. Anything in red is overdue for all your clients. And you can quickly search the clients just by typing in a letter and go ahead to that particular client that you want to look at, and you'll see their engagements and notes and call history. That's the Clients tab. And then finally, the third tab would be your Engagements dashboard. Engagement dashboard, excuse me. You can see, the engagements for the entire firm, and you can drill down to see those engagements. You can even drill in on yourself on the left to filter the engagements that you have for yourself and in what stage they're in. Okay. So most of this stuff is already going to have been set up by the time you actually log into Practice Management. So really all you're doing is tracking your own engagements. Again, you can add an engagement from here. Brings you back to that same window where we did it from the dashboard. So there's a couple ways to get to the engagement if you want to create one. You can look at the dashboard if you like. You can review your clients' engagements, notes, and call history. This is where that entry goes. And of course, most of the time you're going to spend on the dashboard. Entering your time, logging the notes of the time and the work you're doing, submitting it so that the next person in line who handles the invoicing can create the draft invoice, or your bosses can actually start to look at some WIP reports, the work you're doing, and check your status, etc. And then, of course, track your engagements daily. And then a couple other things to show quickly: personal reports, any reports that have been you've been given access to see, you can go ahead and just click on from here. And then your expenses. Should you happen to track any expenses for travel to a client, it's very simple. You go to My Expenses tab from your dashboard, choose the particular client, choose whatever the code would be, mileage, meals and entertainment, postage, what have you, and you just go ahead and fill it out. And then you can, and next, put in your notes, choose whether it's not reimbursable or not to charge the client, go ahead and save it, and then you can submit your expenses much like you submit the time. And then that will go to the time and billing section for the next person in line, that office or staff manager or partner who's actually doing the invoicing for the firm. So that is the practice management, the three tabs as far as the staff view or from the staff user perspective. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day.